We'll check.
Okay. Okay, welcome back, everybody. We are going to be taking a look at Hurricane Erin. We have a powerful hurricane still here. We have the latest 2 p.m. update. I do think we have. Alright. Okay, we got a lot to take over at. We got recon here. Also. That's going to be very important. This is very important. We are taking a look at this imagery here. Looks like we are getting. This is pretty interesting. Hello, everybody. If you are new, please like and subscribe. Please share this with your friends and family. This is very important. We are taking a look at this imagery here. Alright, we're going to be live for a bit on this as we are taking a look at the Erin. We're going to quickly take a look at where these islands are at. So right now we do have an island here. We have 2 islands there. We got islands there, there. These are some of the islands of the Bahamas. And this is where the center is, right here. How can we tell? Is because we got very vicious swirling now on the outside eyewall. We did have an eyewall replacement cycle overnight. Hello, Kai. We did have an eyewall replacement cycle overnight that actually weakened the storm quite a bit, but we are soon to be gradually strengthening this storm as underneath the hood the structure is very solidated there. We are going to be taking a look at a microwave imagery pass that actually shows a much larger eye. Now it's just in a matter of hours we could be seeing some intensification, even rapid intensification. I wouldn't be rolling out. We're going to be taking a look at the wind shear, the dry air, and the upper steering flow, and some of the model data. So, speaking on that, if you guys are new, please like and subscribe. Hello, Kai. Thank you, guys. Let's get to 10 likes, and let's crush the subscribe button. Thank you guys for 500 subscribers last night. That was absolutely amazing. But let's take a better look here. I want to use a different color. We're going to go looking for colors here. What color should I use? White doesn't work. Black. Probably a dark blue. We have not tried that. Let's go here. Let's do this. So one thing we notice is very aggressive swirling on this eye wall here on the eastern side and the western side. It is coming in here like this right now. This is your low level center. This is that soon to become massive eye. We're having outflow easily, very nicely. We do have a very good structure. We even have a nice banding features going into this. One thing I do notice is there is no really well-defined eye at this moment. We are struggling right now with that, but that's because in eyewall replacement, the eyewall has to rebuild on the outside. We are becoming more dominant on the outside eyewall, so give it maybe like an hour or two, and we'll be talking about a much stronger storm. Congrats on 500. Thank you. Hi, chat. Good afternoon, Weather Kingdom. Thank you. We're at already 20 watching in 5 minutes. We are already doing great. I want to take a look at the microwave imagery. It was on here on my Discord. I'm going to have to take a look at that. But this is the satellite imagery's latest. And you can tell underneath that convection, we do have a very vicious big eye right here. I would say the eye is probably like this. This is the eye of the storm. You can tell with the clouds. These thunderstorms are honestly wrapping around the eye wall. That is to be expected to continue. We do have a very nice still banding features out of this. You can easily tell here wrapping around this storm. That's easily going to keep helping it to strengthen. It will be strengthening soon. These are some of the Bahamas Islands as I boxed here. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. The latest path is about here right now. This is that latest path, even a little bit, maybe possibly northwest. Those are going to be very crucial. The eye is definitely trying to get better organized here, you guys. Looks like eyeball replacement for sure, and shift southwest eye replacement. Yeah, that was very interesting with the eyewall. Eyewall replacement actually moved this much further south, and the wind field has grown dramatically. If we actually take a look at the 11 o'clock update wind fields and the rainfall potential, we're actually going to be taking a look at all that. If we actually take a look at the wind history, we have grew in size from here. We even had some sustained winds all the way to tropical storm force. But look at that. This is those strong tropical storm force winds. And if we did a path like this, that will glaze the islands here if it did something like this. Okay? But the eyewall, the winds are continuing to grow. And I do think these, at least some of these islands right here, is going to get some winds. Alright. The rip current experimental. Let's look at the wind speed probabilities. And it is actually pretty high there, even for the Bermuda and Carolinas as the wind field keeps growing. We are at a general for the Bahamas. If you want to look at this, we're at a general 5 to 10% for tropical storm force winds. That's up to 40 miles an hour winds. But we do see here on parts of the Bahamas is under 10 to 20%. And then it actually goes even to a 20 to 30. And even the far western part, we're actually at a 60 to 70% of seeing tropical storm forced winds. That's not gust, but that's very important. Now in the National Hurricane Center, we do even have off the Carolinas coast here a 10 to 20% of tropical storm force winds. That all depends on how this storm continues. If we are looking for 50 miles an hour, we do have actually a very slim chance, pretty close even off the coast. We're going to have to see if that trends closer. But even for parts of the Bahamas here, a 5 to 20% for 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts, wind sustained. So that is definitely possible. And then the hurricane speed totally is all offshore. We even have a 2% just in one of the Bahamas Islands. We're going to have to see if this track does shift any further west, because on the latest National Hurricane Center, we did move the cone a bit further west. Also, rainfall potential. Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands got up to, about 3 to 6 inches. If you guys are in the Dominican Republic, we are going to be expecting up here up to maybe even 1 to 2 inches. Locally, even 3 inches is possible. And then for the Bahamas, I would say a general 1 to 2 inches. And then the green here, this is 2 to 4. And even in the far western here, a 4 to 6. So we can see 2 to 4 with locally 5 inches of rain. I wouldn't be rolling out here, you guys, on the National Hurricane Center. This could even move further to the west. Okay. We take a look at the warnings and cones. Here we are having 34 people watching. We're really just taking a nice look at this here. We take a look at the National Hurricane Center, and we're going to have to keep an update on this. This is that Windfield, like I said, and with this track, it actually does skim the coast here. Even, over here, this is a pretty big Windfield, and this could even grow a bit more. We do have actually tropical storm warnings. That's in parts of the Bahamas here, and then in the far western, we even have watches. As of the 11 a.m. advisory, we do have a 125-mile-an-hour storm moving west-northwest. That is a very important news right there. I would say generally this is probably closer to a weak Category 3, strong Category 2 on the latest recon. We are going to be actually taking a look at the latest recon. I'm wondering, they are going back into this, so that's going to be another interesting development. We do have very strong hurricane force winds, actually, pretty far out. We do have hurricane force winds reaching all the way here, and then tropical storm force even further out. That was very impressive. So we take a look at the satellite imagery again as we are. Yep, it looks like an eye is getting a little bit better. We actually have a new convection blow up. Looks like the eye is trying to develop a little bit more. I do think we can get into intensification here. Look at that. The latest frames here on the weather site. You can tell all of a sudden we have a blow up of thunderstorm convection. But look at the track of this. This is generally moving in this direction. And if you're doing the math like that, this is going to get awfully close to these Bahamas Islands if it continues that west-northwest track. We take a look at the latest cone and honestly the satellite, in my opinion, or radar. It's actually right with the cone. The National Hurricane Center, as of right now, is pretty close to it. We could even see a little bit push. We could have a westward jog we're going to have to watch out for, as we are getting a bit of blowing up of convection on the opposite side. Usually we can see westward jogs with that convection. If you guys are new, please like and subscribe. Our next goal is 15 likes, and our next big goal is 1,000 subscribers, our first K. But we are taking a look here I'm very interested if we do see a little westward jog, because we're still getting that formation of the eye, and with that latest blow up of convection, it looks like the eyes it's trying to open, but it's taking more of a westward jog. So we could see a little bit of a westward jog with this latest convection. We could kind of see that end up being over here maybe, and then it restarts its northern. But that's very important because every little westward jog is more likely of tropical storm impacts for the islands. We'll be live on this also tonight around 9 o'clock tonight, maybe even 8:30. Depends how I get out of work here. Also, the discussion. We're going to be actually reading the discussion. We're going to go a little bit quicker on this discussion because I do have my own. Do you think this could just keep going west and go north too late and skirt the east coast? We're just gonna have to wait and see because I was gonna actually talk about that with the upper level flow, with the ridge and everything. It is possible that this actually goes more west northwest. If you guys think this is now just gonna go out to sea, no, because if we take a look at the graphics, okay, I want you guys to take a look at the graphics. We still do have room for error. Let's say this northwest movement, right, goes a little bit more like this, and it goes outside the cone. Let's say we have a little bit of a westward shift, and then it goes like this. This will be already on the outside end of the cone potentially. And let's say that northern, when we really start seeing that northwest movement, and that even that north, does that actually keep going a little bit more northwest? Does this actually go like this? A little bit more, and then, because that is the biggest difference that we still have to watch out for. Does the ridge build back in and helps to keep this west-northwest, even northwest movement a little bit longer than the turn? Does the turn take a little bit longer, and do we get a little bit closer to the east coast? It's pretty crazy that the cone of uncertainty does get pretty close to the Carolinas, and we will have to keep a watch on that with the models. I like taking a look at the imagery because it does show us, yep, a slight wobble again to the west. Here, you guys, potentially a wobble to the west. Once again, this is why we are live, because every little wobble is very important. Yeah, it looks like that convection. Looks like that convection is actually helping to move the eye just a bit more west. That's very crucial, because if this blow up continues and we kind of, instead of going like this and now we're going like this, we could see a little bit westward movement and then that back north. Every jog matters because it is going to be how close does it get to the Bahamas? How close does it get to there? If we take a look at the latest radar, it's almost out of view, but we could probably get a little glimpse of stuff here. If we take a look how close this is truly to the areas here. So pretty much there is nothing else we can really take a look at here on the radar. But look how little this cone is. You know, any little bit westward movement, we're going to get much closer to the islands than perspective. You can tell we were about there. Look at that, a little bit of a westward movement. It's very hard to tell because we are almost out of the radar. So we're kind of going to have to keep an eye on satellite and watch how this eye develops. We currently have 50 people watching. I agree with Weather Kingdom. There could be tropical storm watches for the Carolinas. I do think is very possible here. Look at that. Big blow up. That's going to help to move the storm a little bit west on that. Recon. Let's take a look at recon. Okay, very interesting. Reconist. Uh-oh, looks like recon's actually done, you guys. Recon is going back home. So it looks like recon's actually done. But we also noticed a bit of a westward jog here, too. We were kind of going northwest, and then we went west-northwest. And look at that. We're really starting to go a little bit more. And then maybe now we're like here. So it is going a little bit. We're going to keep having these little jogs until the eye completely forms. And also with the retrograding ridge. So I want to take a look at the structure here. I want to take a look at the Discord. I don't know if it's going to still be there pretty pronounced. Okay, let's take a look at here. We do want to take a look at the structure. We also have a new post in the actual chat. We're looking at Erin here. Just let's take a look at the chat. So, this was that latest drop, son. We're at a 947 at 13 knots. If you do the reduction, that'll be 946. So still very small. Apparently half speed. Erin has reaching category 5 status by tonight and tomorrow morning again. That's interesting. But this was the latest microwave imagery. It's still very cloud cover, but we do notice a much bigger eye here on the latest microwave imagery. Let's take a look at that. We do have that band on currently. Satellite that kind of actually wraps around here. We also have another band there that wraps around there. We even have a band with vorticity all the way back in here. This continues to be pulled, but now we notice a much better structure here on Erin is a well-defined eye underneath that convection. And this is actually a pretty big eye. And if this does, move a little bit west, let's say it moves now over here, and then it goes like this. I mean, we are getting pretty close to these Bahama Islands. Something to keep an eye on. But currently it says it's going to go northwest here and skim the coast of the Bahamas. But that's a very good structure. That was at 1403 UTC. So if we take actually a look at the 14, so let me quickly take a look at the timing on that. That was 1403 UTC to an Eastern time. Does anyone know what time this was published? I don't think we really. This is the satellite imagery. I'm kind of trying to search up the UTC thing here. I guess it's August 17th, so this is probably the one of the fresher datas. But that was very important that we got. And then this was a outer eyewall really dominant now. That was another tweet. This was yesterday. A lot of vortices in the eye, very well defined. This was a very interesting post here by Andrew Austin Alder. Hurricane Erin has almost completed its eyewall replacement cycle as a recon data finds increasingly stable and intensification in the outer eyewall. A slight double wind max still exists as the inner eyewall fizzles. However, increased winds and improving satellite suggest recovery. So we are seeing the recovery on this storm. It's a large eye for the storm. Give it time. Middle of the eye. Yup. So let's take a look at the latest satellite, and then I want to take a look at the upper level turning and everything. That's going to help to understand everything that's going on. We'll take a look at that. Okay, thank you, Carlos. Appreciate it. Look at the latest satellite imagery here, as improvements will be continuing in the next couple hours. Looks like we are moving a little bit west right now. A little bit of a westward jog, but also the eye's getting covered up. It's going to take a little bit more time for it to recover. Yeah, I can't even tell anymore. Let's take a look at the upper level flow. Mike's weather. No, there's going to be no landfall at all into the Bahamas, you guys. No landfall. Don't be doing that. We also want to take a look at the shear. This is another interesting thing. We do have a bit of shear here on this storm. About 5 to 10 knots. Not enough yet, really. I don't like looking at that. I'd rather look at something else for the shear. If Mike's weather page wants to work. So this is the upper steering level flow here. Very interesting. What does it happen? I'm very interested what keeps happening with this flow. So basically, this is... We're going to make this a lot bigger here. We're going to bump it up just a bit. So this is a... parts of the high pressure. Look at that. Boom. This part's of the high building in. We do see the high kind of pushing it like that on this side of the storm. But then we also have this ridge that actually circles back down here. We see that here on the flow here, even into the Florida coast. So what could be happening here is, so basically, this is where it will start going north, is about here. This could really start to go north. But the question is, does this high pressure here, does it try and, you see this nudge, how it's kind of nudging out a little bit? That's going to keep it on this type of track, all right? We're going to keep going west-northwest. That's the flow right now. Even maybe a little bit more west in some of the some western jogs. But the question is, does this high here kind of push this a little bit more into the areas right there? That's going to be a big question. That is definitely not going to go out to sea. It cannot go north because of the pulling mechanism. And if it gets stronger, it could do its mind thing again. So very interesting right there with the upper level flow. Very big flow we have to keep an eye on. Latest satellite imagery from not too long ago. I do think this will intensify again. If you guys are new, please like and subscribe. Next goal is up to 1,000 subscribers. But for that being said, look at the latest satellite. You can definitely tell a westward movement here on the latest frames. So that's going to be a little interesting. You can actually probably kind of see it here too. The outer eyewall. We're going to have to keep an eye, very close eye on that. Any lightning in the eye? I do not think so. I do not. We do actually have some lightning in it. Yeah, recon looks like they are done. So mission 13's done. We do have another unknown. Unknown mission going there. We take a look at the guidance, the 12Z. It is very interesting that the National Hurricane Center is actually showing their, I want to show you guys their line. So this was the previous line right here. They did shift it about here. I do think they might actually go even a further shift to the middle of the track. I do think we will see that, a more pronounced shift. Once again, another nudge to the west. So that's going to be very interesting. Model time. Let's take a look at the half speed. Let's see what it shows, because people are saying it's showing a Cat 5. It does show it from a 933. I mean, it does show it re-strengthening by tonight, but I'm not buying it. I think this is going to end up being different because then it has it moving pretty close to the Bahama Islands. This does bring tropical storm impacts here on these islands to the southern side. A little bit closer on the model. We see that right up a little bit, and then we kind of start seeing that northern. We really don't see the Carolinas on this run. Yeah, we really don't. It's actually a little bit further away. Look at that. We're using this more for tracking. They did shift. Oh, this one actually I think shifted. Yeah, a little bit closer. Rides that. Actually gets a bit closer to the Carolinas here. I think it could get a little closer. Last run of this run, a little bit closer on the halves A. Herf model. Closer also to the coast. And it does have it re-strengthening. We'll have to keep an eye on the track. Hemming model. Yeah, it's pretty hard to tell. I'm more like now casting as of right now because with this westward jog. One moment. We're going to take a look at the satellite imagery here. As someone said, it helps for the track. Oh, yeah, you could definitely see the center. The invisible eye right there. Look at that. Yeah, a little bit to the west, you guys. Look at that. We go from here to about that. Yeah, a little bit to the west here on the latest frames. Bahama Islands are right here. We're going to have to keep an eye on this. If this does try and go more like this, we're going to have to really pinpoint that. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. With a forming eye now, you could definitely see it on here on satellite. It's trying to reform it. It still needs a couple hours to prep itself, but definitely by tonight, we should notice. That's just a little interesting to me right there. It's not really going northwest. It's kind of going west-northwest this current last little seconds. Recon's not going to be in this. $2 p.m. updates out. Yeah, it is, you guys. 2 p.m. updates out. Interesting. We actually have now, they updated the tropical storm watches to now all tropical storm warnings. Interesting. Looks like the wind field has grown once again. We are now, wow. That means in this path, we are going to really get close to moving west-northwest, actually, right now. It's moving west-northwest at 13 with winds up to 125. So we're at a very strong Category 3 hurricane at the latest National Hurricane Center's update. We're going to have to keep an eye on this Eyewall replacement cycle. It's actually done. It's more of the, now it has to build the core back. Zoom Earth would be a good, yeah, we could take a look at Zoom Earth, you guys. Let's see where, oh, actually show it pretty well here on the eye. Ah, yeah, look at all these westerly abbreviations. Huh. Look at that movement. Look at this. It's been a tropical storm for a while in its life. Yeah, all these 45s, you guys. Very large storm. Look at all these wobbles. Nope, that's not updated. Up, mission 14 to Erin's now going out. Very interesting. Let's take a look at the high res of the GOES 19 meter. I'm gonna need 1 second here, but keep an eye on this, you guys. I need 1 second. This is the hurricane. That's a big eye, you guys. If that can clear out and that convection can go, we'll have a massive eye. Probably back to a Cat 5 hurricane is possible. One moment. You guys. Okay, I know I don't want to show you guys this. I want you guys to take a look with me at a Milton. We're actually gonna. I was taking a look at some eyewall replacement cycles, and we're at eyewall replace. I want you guys to take a look at the satellite, the GIF. If we could pull it up here. Let's see if we could. If not, I think we could. So look at this. Look at that. This is the eyewall replacement cycle of Milton. Look how we actually lose the eye for quite a while before it actually strengthens. And then we saw the new eye a little bit bigger. Look at that. Look at that. We completely get destroyed here. It looks a lot weaker. But look at that. Then it starts intensifying again, and the second peak was right there. Look at that. That's crazy, right? This was the eyewall replacement cycle of Milton. Not saying it's going to do a Milton, but this is a full eyewall replacement cycle on Erin. Very close to Milton's eyewall. I do think it will intensify again. We went through that stage where it died there. I'll say we're right now in this stage where it doesn't even look like there's an eye at all. Just very interesting. The Weather Warrior, I got a fun fact about Milton. It's only in history to drop 905 twice. Oh, wow. That's crazy. I just wanted to show you guys the Milton eyewall replacement cycle. Let's see if we can even get a cloud version of this. This was another very close image. Look at, I want you guys to take a look at these. Look at that. What does the middle remind you of? It reminds you of Milton. This was Wilmum's eyewall replacement cycle. Alright, Wilmum. And if we take a look at that, we had that pinhole, right? We had that pinhole right here. And then we had this look of convection blowing up in the center right there. You see that? And then we ended up with this massive Cat 5 again. Just something to watch. This is where Eyewall replaces it. Just something to show. If you guys are new, please like and subscribe. Our goal is to 1K of subscribers. Also, big time on watch time. But it's very interesting that this is a full-on eye replacement cycle. You can definitely see here in this image. We take a look at the current visible. Look at that. We have that big eye feature blowing up in convection. There it is. Just something to show you guys, alright? That this is still in the process towards the end of the eyewall replacement cycle. You can see the shadows of the big eye here. I mean, look at it. Just something to show. It's getting currently covered by the convection. That should die down a little bit. Yeah, very interesting. We're going to keep it here on satellite for now. I'm going to take a little break. We're going to have it on fast wave of the Eyewall. long did the Eyewall replacement cycle for Hurricane Erin? Okay. Let's get an update here. Look at this storm. Underneath the eye here, this is it. Look at that. This is that future eye. So basically, when I come home from work, this could be already getting much better organized. I wouldn't be surprised I come home from work and we have a full eye. So tonight's stream with past there's going to be very extreme, probably. It's really not moving that far north here, you guys. It's really moving that west-northwest motion. Also, another big thing that we have to take a look at is the water temps. We are going to be getting into some even warmer waters. We are at, let's look at the latitude and longitude. Let's get it into here. We are at 68 degrees west, 21 north. 68 west. So we're not even at 7. Once you hit 70, we're about in this favorable waters here. As this storm keeps moving like this, we are going to actually enter 30 to even 31 degrees Celsius. So water temperatures are actually going to warm a few degrees even further. So that's a big, major thing. Also, let's just take a look at the water vapor and the dry air. How does it look on this storm right now? And honestly, it's pretty good. There is some mid-level dry air to the north, but overall, we are seeing soon. Yeah, look at that. No really dry air. There is no dry air in sight. We could take a look at the GFS 200 millibars. Currently, right now, if we take a look as of it right now, we do have once again a bit of shear to the north. Remember that, look, a little bit to the north. Good cyclonic flow to the south, to the north, not really. That's something to take a look at the GFS. There's some shear, just a little on the northern side. But we take a look here by 8 o'clock. It looks like we start to see a little bit better of shear. There's still a little bit here on the northern side. That's going to inhibit major development, but that will strengthen it. Then we can see by, okay, it gets a little bit better by 2 a.m. By 2 a.m. tonight, we actually notice we have more of winds going like that. We don't really got any more forcing on this. We actually start kind of easing it out a little bit by 2 in the morning tonight. So wind shear should drop a bit, and then we can see by tomorrow morning what it looks to me is we do have it's gonna be under a decent cyclonic flow. It does look to me as we go. So actually, by 8 p.m., it looks like it strengthens actually more down the road on the satellite. You can actually tell we actually have more breathing here on the northern side then. Look at that. But then we got a little bit of shear on this side. But it is a little bit better. There's not really shear. And actually the cyclonic flow, once you get a little bit further up here, becomes a divergence outflow. That's why GFS has it strengthening to a 942 even. That's interesting on the GFS. Actually has it deepening while moving north. All the way up to here. So conditions are pretty favorable. I don't see anything wrong with the GFS here. It actually does strengthen it. Dry air, there is no dry air to be in sight. Honestly, it actually grows in Windfields. Tonight will be very interesting on how it looks. But let's take a look at the Windfields. We're gonna actually take a look at wind. This is the winds here. Let's see where we're at. This is the wind field right now. Pretty ideal. We do notice the wind field actually grows quite a bit as we move north. Look at that. We actually grow into a pretty big wind field here by the GFS by this time. Almost all the way to the Outer Banks. Pretty large major hurricane wind field. It's interesting that GFS shows strengthening actually all the way up instead of the National Hurricane Center showing that. European, let's take a look at that. This is 6Z. Let's take a look at 200 millibars. We're going to actually look at all the models for it and see what it's looking like. So where we're at right now. We are at 1, 2. So this is where we're at. There is, once again, a little bit of yeah, there's a little bit. Of shear to the north. A little, it's not breathing in all 4 quadrants as of right now. It's actually 2 a.m. Let's go 2 p.m. Yeah, look at that. So let's go into the next 36 hours. We do notice actually on the, looks like it does weaken a bit where we're at, but it does strengthen a little bit. And then it actually has it strengthening quite considerable. Look at that. We do actually have cyclonic flow here on this one. On the Euro, we do get... yeah, breathing motion in the next 51 hours. The Euro does show strengthening here. Very interesting. We do see pressures dropping... gradually, even 9:39 by 63 hours from now. This is probably going to be lower from where it's at. But look, we actually do get a cyclonic flow that could actually try and develop here on the European. So that's very interesting. And then you can kind of see it goes 9:41, and then it actually starts weakening just a bit thanks to some wind shear on the northern side here. So look at that. Boom. We got some southwesterly shear. But we do have on the Euro. See, it's a little bit different, but it does have it generally strengthening for almost the next 63 hours. That's next 2 days or so, potentially. We're taking a look at this because it's very important. Weather Kingdom, how long it has to take that turn into the gap before it's maybe too late to grab? I think it's going to go west-northwestward. I don't know. We're going to have to take a look at it. But then it does actually, once we get actually a little bit further north, it looks like we can actually see another Eyewall replacement cycle. Because then we actually go from a 939 to a 941, 945, 946, 948. And then we actually start heading west-northwest and towards the Carolinas. But now we're breathing just a bit here. Look at that. We now have a cyclonic flow again. It's breathing very well. Looks like it tries and re-intensifies with another potential Eyewall replacement cycle. I don't know. Whatever the Euro wants to show. But then it actually gets very close on the latest Euro. Heads pretty close into there before it runs out. And then it gets picked up there. So it's interesting what we do see on the latest Euro. So the favorability with the shear and stuff ain't that bad. This is 200 millibars. We ain't just looking at the shear. Latest Canadian, I don't even know. I haven't really looked, but we can take a look. Why not? So in the this is 2 p.m. Yeah, there's a bit of cyclonic flow and wind shear. Not really. It has it staying pretty weak and actually strengthening once it gets north. I don't like taking a look at that model. I think the icon's ridiculous at this point, you guys. Actually, icon does show it here. In the next little bit. We do have a little bit of shear at 961. Actually, that's not too far off. We're actually at a 940. We're in the 940s. But the icon does show it to gradually strengthen. Even a little bit westward jogs and actually becomes a category 5. I'm not buying this because it has it actually staying very good cyclonic flow all the way up to here. And I'm not buying it on the Euro, you guys. It shows a category 5 once again. That's not going to happen. But icon's the most strongest member of it. The European APHIS is another model that we could take a look at. Anticyclone, not cyclone. I agree with you on that. It's. By the way, we have now hit 531 subscribers. Let's make our next goal 540 subscribers. That's another milestone there. Tonight's going to be very interesting. We're going to do this again. Look at the European APHIS. Does have it weakening. It does have a strengthening in the future here. It actually keeps it strengthening all the way up to here. And gets awfully close to the Carolinas. So maybe the anti-cyclone flow is getting a little bit better. We'll have to wait and see. I don't think we can look at this on Euro. No, the hurricane models don't show it. The flow hasn't updated. We'll have to keep. Oh wow, we have to keep an eye on that. So currently, for this thing to breathe like it is, there's definitely some shear on this. But if this can actually move over this system, we'll be breathing pretty well. That could happen. We'll have to keep an eye on that. It does have a mind of its own. We are heading into better conditions right here. that less and less in the last 24 hours. We'll have to wait and see on this. I mean, it's not in bad conditions right now. It's just, I want to take a look at the future conditions. We're going to have to keep an eye on that and by tonight. That's the ultimate goal here. Let's take a look at this. Looks to me, we'll have to just wait and see. Right now, this eye is underneath this convection. We still haven't even got to 22 north. That's a bit concerning, you guys. We'll have to wait and see. I think this might have updated. Let's make sure it did not. I don't think it did. Okay. Very interesting. Honestly, it's moving west right now. It is moving a bit to the west. We are moving a bit to the west. Just one moment, you guys. Just something to keep an eye on. We are moving a little bit more west than today in the last hour or two. Yeah. This is a big eye that's waiting to be evolved. It seriously is, and we're going to have to watch out every frame now. Watch when D-Max comes later tonight. Yeah, it's definitely moving a little bit west. We can just see the skull. I can just see it right here, you guys. This is the eyewall is literally cover right now. We'll have to get the satellite a little bit to show. Looks like a crazy storm, yeah. It's going to be interesting tonight how we continue throughout work. Hopefully I have a busy day and it goes pretty quick, but... Is there anything else you guys want me to look at? If you guys are new, please like and subscribe and share. Let's get ourselves to 1,000 subscribers. If you guys are new.
Could I show you that this is gonna slam right into foot? No, sorry.
Bruh.
What's going on?
Okay, the Eyewall replacement cycle is done. By the way, I did see your stream. Good job.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'm watching your stream right now.
Thank you.
By the way, the cone has shifted a little. I don't know if you saw, but the cone has shifted.
To the west.
Yeah. Also, it's done with this EW.
Yeah, the eyewall replacement cycle. And honestly, people, I know people were saying also about the eyewall replacement cycle, it was taking longer than it should. And yeah, it's almost been It's actually normal because if you actually look at the logic, it takes about 12 to 18 hours sometimes, but it could actually take up to 3 days of an eyewall replacement cycle in total.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
Definitely.
so this is quite normal. And what's interesting also, when we looked at Wilma, I was taking a look at the eyewall replacement cycle with Wilma and Milton. It all had this period in the eyewall replacement cycle where there was no visible eye, but on the cloud features you can see a building eyewall and everything. So it is interesting. I do think. What?
Sorry, go on. Go on.
I do.
He thinks so that's what it should be for.
I do think it will intensify tonight, and I think we just have to keep an eye on the satellite imagery because it is in the process of rebuilding the eye. And yes, this I would say this is honestly, in my opinion, a weak category 2, even a strong category 2 right now on this storm is very possible. In my opinion, it doesn't. It's rebuilding, okay? It's re-strengthening. It's just going to take a little bit of time as we are going to continue watching this. What do you guys think on this? Do you guys agree?
I'm looking here. It looks like the center is right in this area.
Yeah, and once that convection dies, I do think it's still ready slowly, but I think this will, honestly, this will be a big eye. A lot of the hurricane models does show it. Also,
I can see it being a deeper pressure.
That's we'll have to wait into tonight to see. There has been a little bit of interesting movement going on. We've actually been moving. We've been actually moving a little bit more west than north in the last hour or two. You can actually see it on true color also as I pull it up. It looks like it has been moving a little bit more west, and that's not good. Because
you may have it on your bingo card. That's not what I want on my bingo card. I know, but like you've been saying that it could have a chance of hitting North Carolina if it's just more west. That's exactly what it's doing.
But hasn't it kind of already?
This is where the previous eye was here, and now we're about here. So it's kind of.
I never wanted to be long in my life so much.
It's kind of going west right now, and if this westward continues, we are pretty much heading due right into the Turk and Caicos with this west movement.
Interesting?
What?
Can I tell you something interesting?
Yeah.
So, look at my screen.
Yeah.
So there's the low pressure right here. I still don't know why that's still marked.
Yeah.
There's, I think, a high pressure up here. There's, I think, a high pressure back here. And there's a low pressure right here. So, hold on, let me just,
Look at your hand.
low, low. I'm gonna put it right there because low. And then the blue is gonna be high. Click over here, right here. And actually, right here, I believe.
Yeah, that's the scary one.
Well, no, I think it's like maybe right here.
And
this looks like it's moving east.
It's like at the panhandle of Florida. That's where that one is.
Yeah, and Charlie showed something interesting. It showed like it going like that.
Yeah, in the upper levels.
Yeah, and you know, if it's right here, then it's gonna steer it directly at Florida.
I do not think it's going to actually go into Florida. What I think it could happen here is this could get much closer than expected to the Bahamas, then take a west-northwest, and I could honestly see it get a lot closer to the Carolinas. Honestly, Erin has been doing this for the last, 4 days straight, throwing surprises.
What you're saying is, hold on, let me just get rid of that.
I think it's going to hit the Bahamas and then it's going to hit the Carolinas.
No, that was a good path right there. I think it's going to do something like that. Yup.
Like
Perfect.
that?
Yup, perfect. That's my thinking, and then it's going to just skim the coast. That's what I'm seeing.
I feel like this will be my cone.
Since I seen that on steering turn,
I agree with you.
I've become more confident that it's going to go in between Wilmington and Morehead City.
Current,
You think that this is good?
Weather.
Yeah,
It's going to be more.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
For now, we'll just have to keep looking. We also have new recon going into this later.
Can I highlight this on your stream?
Sure. Let me just get into.
The more west it goes.
Wait, can you send a picture of it and then send it in the chat?
Oh, I got rid of it. Here, let me do it. Let me do it like this.
The more west it goes, the more the North Carolina chances go up, and the Bahamas.
Correct. Up there's the latest steering flow, and very interesting. I just got the latest steering flow, and
There is no serial hilly.
look at this.
So, how about this? How about this, Weather Kingdom?
Yeah, that's not too off.
I'm gonna send that to you. I'm gonna put
Actually, look at the steering flow, you guys. It looks like it might be going more north.
Can I put in live no mic?
Yeah. I have a question. What's your guys' thoughts on the steering flow here?
What?
What's this?
Why? Why can't I get? Oh my god! Can I do anything with pictures? No, not. Hold on. Let me just DM it to you.
Yeah.
For some reason, I can't send it anywhere. Tag. Hello.
Hello, hey, Weather Kingdom.
Hey. What's your latest thinking, Delta? How's this?
Erin is
Yeah.
just about finished with her eyewall replacement.
I can't send it to you for some reason.
Okay. What's your guys thinking on the flow here that we are seeing? Do you guys see the flow that I have popped up?
Why don't you take a screenshot of this, Weather Kingdom, and yeah.
You're Mountain Dew now?
Yeah, I will. 1 second.
I'm just gonna label it. I'm just gonna label.
Erin's got a nasty skull. I just now.
Let me just draw the track.
Alright, let me take a screenshot of that.
Okay.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, sweet.
Let me just do some work.
But can I say something to the stream?
Yeah.
I just want to say, the cone doesn't tell the whole story.
Correct.
You always have to, and I mean always, look at the Windfield as well. Always look at the rain bands. Always look at everything with the storm. For example, here's a really, really good example. 2012 Sandy. People thought, oh, we're not going to get impacted. It's just going to move off. The high pressure and low pressure just said, hey, Sandy, let me just beam you directly at Atlantic City, New Jersey, and catch everyone off guard because they only look at the cone.
Correct.
Don't look at the cone. You should actually have already been prepared and
Look at this gnarly skull.
Let me look.
on my screen.
Wait. Where is it? How is this skull?
Did we get a notification saying they clipped our voice? What was that about?
Oh wow, look at that.
Look, there's even some of the spinal cord neck.
Oh wow.
So you're kind of looking side on.
Oh wow, that is true. Quickly, let's take a look here. Once again at satellite imagery. We're gonna be here only for another 5 to 10 more minutes. As I will be having work later, but we will definitely be on patch stream probably later tonight, and then afterwards I'll probably be doing another stream for the nighttime being. Erin has done everything is possible. Alright, you guys, it looks like we are starting to see the eye here open up. We're starting to see some warming in the center. Also, it looks like we could start to be, in the next hour, seeing a massive eye showing on satellite imagery. If we take a look at the mesoscale from earlier, look at all that convection. Look how it's warming up now in the center. This is going to be very interesting. This is going to be very interesting as we keep going. Because this is going to be a big eye. I'm going to tell you that. When this eye forms, it's going to be a pretty big eye. This is pretty interesting. So the float is currently like this, blocking. Really nothing to the north now. This is our steering out to sea right here, but we still got it pulling a little bit west. More west it goes. I think what's going to do, it's going to ride this. And then we're going to have to wait and see. Very interesting flow pattern currently on Erin. But there is someone else. Let me take 1 second. There's a bit of a skull now on Erin. If we actually take a look at this, this was thanks to Delta. Delta kind of spotted this out here. Look at this nasty looking skull at this frame. Look at that. We had right here, look at that. We got like this, let's use, what color? Let's use blue, I guess. let's go a little bit bigger here. We're going to do some drawing class, so everybody stay tuned with me. So basically, look at that. We see the skull right here. Kind of pinpoint that. And then we got the spinal cord right here. A little bit of a spinal cord. We even have an eye. We have two eyes here. Look at that. We have like two little eyes there. We got a nose right there. We got angry side right there. Look at that. A little bit of a face also showing up. Look at this nasty looking skull right here. Facing right at the Bahamas in Florida. Just a little interesting. Look at that.
Look at the purple around the eye.
Actually, this is a frame from before. If we take a look at the latest frames now, look at the convection in the center. We are slowly starting to see the convection warm up in the center, and that's going to be some major news as we keep going. We could be in the next couple hours seeing Erin show its skull and eyes, and the eye could be getting out. This is that latest satellite imagery. It looks like we are slowly starting to see the center here. It looks like it is trying to wrap. We could be seeing an attempt of a warming of the eye right here. What?
He's on YouTube. All you gotta do is watch his YouTube channel.
Oh, okay.
Looks like the eye is trying to clear out. I won't be here for when it clears out. I'll be here probably more like 9 o'clock on the stream, or I'll be with Pat. If you guys do not know who Pat is, it's Pat Predictor. Weather channel that is in the YouTube. When you look at the description, his channel is linked up there. So please go check him out if you guys have not. He's an awesome weather enthusiast. He actually has a degree in meteorologist. So very interesting. Shout out to him.
I'm going to be joining as well.
Yeah, also we're going to be having Delta. We're going to be having, who else is going to be here? We're going to have LT is going to be there. Kent probably going to be there. And whoever else likes to join.
This storm is, I think the storm's now a scary 125 miles an hour.
I can deal with it. It's the Cat 5 I can't deal with.
Do you agree with me?
Honestly, no. I say this is more like 115 to 120 miles an hour right now.
But it's a scary one.
Yes, it's a scary, strong Category 2, Category 3 week right now. We take a look at the shortwave here. This is probably getting a little interesting now. We're probably starting to notice that eye starting to peek out a little bit, and we do actually see it. What?
I'm talking to my son, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You can actually see the movement. We're still kind of going west here.
And then once you spill that on your phone, it was dripping everywhere. The dog was licking it all up.
I don't know where the eye is right now.
I do. I already marked it on the stream. It's right where you're seeing that. If you look at cloud tops, easily tell.
I think I see the shadow of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see the shadow. It's just beyond the 68 west, right? It's just beyond the 68 west.
Let me take a look quickly. It is, yeah. Yep.
It's just south of 22 north and just
Yep.
West of 68.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I want you guys to, I know you guys been watching the stream. What do you guys think about the models in the 200 millibar flight level? Have you seen the models actually now trending as more time for strengthening, or do you guys disagree with that? How does the atmosphere look as we go further up the coast?
I got OHC. Can I share that? Can I share the OHC Weather Kingdom?
Yeah, 1 second. Let me see. I want to... Whoa, what am I doing here? Whoa, oh my god, I almost just exit out the entire page. Oh, I did. Damn it. Oh my goodness, oh.
What'd you do?
We exit out the entire page of all the tabs.
But anyway.
One moment, I'm going to test something here.
Okay.
Can you send the Discord? Storm. Oh. Let's take a look at some of the chatting here. Where is Delta? There is... latest recon. That's right there. Interesting. We will be ending this stream soon, actually, because I do have to head out in just a few. Latest Euro model 12Z. Let's take a look. Actually, latest Euro, from where it's at, it wants it to intensify. Is 8 a.m. tomorrow, back down just a bit. And then we actually see a 939 once again, much stronger. And then 947, and then 948. And then out to sea. And then we have our next system there on the Euro. Very interesting. We take a look at the shortwave here on satellite. There's that remnant of the eye here. The shadows of the eye. What's that? Zoom Earth. Let's take a look at weather-wise. I want to take a look at the weather-wise app. Look at the low-level center. Right now it's on path with the National Hurricane Center. But we are moving a little bit west, though. Interesting. It's going to be a bit interesting tonight, you guys, what we are going to see on everything here. But that's going to probably wrap it up, you guys. Thank you guys for liking and subscribing. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. See you guys later tonight on Pat's Path Predictor stream or my stream. Or right after Pat will go live. But thank you guys. Have a good night. See you guys in the next one. And please